Welcome to Wednesday Wind Down with Dan and Friends. I'm Dan Conger, he, him, and tonight I'm drinking a Belching Beaver peanut butter milk stout, and damn, it's good. Um, Welcome to the show and webinar and YouTube show that's for people that like to be outdoors, people that like to hike. So tonight we're going to talk about a trail. So Sandra, would you introduce yourself?
My name is Sandra Grow. I identify as a she, her. And I love to backpack. I love to hike. I like to be outside.
Awesome. So tonight we're going to talk about the Oak Canyon Trail in Mission Trails Regional Park that you and Rich recently hiked. Yeah. Cool. And do you have, I don't know, this is just off the cuff. Do you know how big Mission Trails Park is? It's pretty big.
It's really big. I don't know the size of it, but I think of Mission Trails constantly in terms of south side, north side. Mm-hmm. And I use Mission Trails, the road, Mission Gorge Road as the divider for me. Okay. And so I think of terms of which side is it on. And so Mission Trails South is my backyard. And Mission Trails North is just like it's the side yard. Okay. Because we're so close. Like Dixie and I will often walk over there, even to the north, because it's not that far from the house and it's worth it.
Cool. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to jump right into the trail stuff, because what I want to do is give you, if you're just watching this on YouTube, you might just want the trail stats. So let's jump right into it, and we'll throw in some of that stuff as we move along. So here's a layout of the route that you took. The star is where you started, and there's parking down there. So overall, about 4.5 miles long. The 680 foot elevation gain, that goes up to maybe that far corner where you make the hard right turn. Is that generally the high point?
Yes.
Generally,
yeah, and then you start hustling down. Well, no. Actually, you continue to go up. So at the very top of the screen where it's like it says 0.1 mile, mm-hmm. and it's the hard right. Oh. That's actually, if you remember, Dan, when we did it a few years ago, it's one of the service roads, and it's a near vertical.
Right.
It's just it's brutal.
Oh, right.
It's heading towards the Fortunas.
I can see that high point right about 600 foot. Okay. So how's parking in there? I know there's a parking lot and parking alongside the road.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There's both. And so it depends upon how early you get there in the morning. They have a gate that closes. And so, and they lock it overnight. And if your car's in there, your car's staying the night at the park.
Okay.
And so, but on the other side of the gate, you can park on both sides of the road up Father Junipero. And then you can also park in the lot that's adjacent to where the gate is. And they only block off the lot if it's been raining and it's kind of mucky, because that's a very clay area. And so it's a mess. So as soon as there's any kind of rain, they'll block off the parking lot and you have to park on the street.
So why do you like this trail, or why would you recommend this to somebody? Why would you recommend this hike?
I think that it's a really great hike. It's marked well, mm-hmm. and it has in the first like 2 miles, you're all of a sudden you're in like this kind of like a canyon area. Yeah. And you've got a lot of growth, and you've got a lot of visual texture where there's rock and you scramble a little bit. You've got some footbridges, you've got some water. It's just got it ticks off a lot of things for a hike, and yet you're still in the very middle of San Diego.
Right. Now, what time of year would you recommend this? I mean, how is this in the middle of summer?
It's hot in the middle of summer. If you did it in the middle of summer, I would suggest having this be a morning hike, and getting back towards your car before it gets too late in the morning, because the whole area where the grasslands is, where those two arrows are, snakes, snakes, and then there's snakes, and there's and then on the other side there's snakes. Okay. Because the grassland has so many mice and little critters out there, snakes have something to eat. And the grassland area is protected, so they don't want us tromping on it. And they've actually got barriers and things out there to keep you from some of those areas that they're trying to regrow. So it's not my bag to be over there in the summertime, but I do love it in the spring, and I love it after a rain. Awesome. Because there's a waterfall.
So here's the elevation profile. Now there is some exaggeration on it, so it's definitely not that steep, but to that high point looks like it's about 2.7 miles. So about not quite, a little past halfway, because it's about 4.5 plus, something like that. So what, it's 670, 680 feet of elevation gain, generally in the front, and then there's a little blip. I think that right at that 4 mile mark, that's probably where you're crossing the river. I'm guessing that it flattens out and then you go back up. I'm guessing, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. So that where that 4.25 mile mark is, it's the same place as the quarter mile mark.
That it is. Look at that, because you're
and that is that there's the paved road, and then they have a metal footbridge, really.
Which we should take a look at that. Let's jump into this. Okay, so this is right near where you parked. So
and there's a campground there. Yeah. And in the summer they have it open, and you can camp like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they close it down during the regular part of the week.
Okay. There's that gate you mentioned that was closed. So this side is generally not open to traffic.
Well, no, it's only closed for the morning. And then when we finished, that gate had been open, and then people started parking. Okay.
So that sign said we're coming into the grassland area. So you've got
this is the paved road with the metal part that is covering for the bridge. And so that's the river. That's San Diego River. Okay. And then this heads us out towards the grasslands.
Okay, cool. So off in the distance, I'm seeing some power poles out on there. So that's looking towards the military base, right? That's looking north?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I remember from the map, we're going to hang a left here in a moment and do a clockwise loop around. Then we'll come back through this section again.
Yeah. So there's trash cans right here, and then straight ahead is like the informative thing, and they're really good about updating things that they want you to keep an eye out for, and the rules for the park. And there's sometimes a little basket that has maps in it. And anybody that hasn't been out there, I suggest taking a map, because there's loads of trails and they can kind of crisscross around.
Okay. So this is the grassland area. I could tell why. It's kind of flat and broad.
Right. And then there's more taros on the right.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. So it looks pretty flat. It doesn't look right now like I mean, because there's some trails that loop around the grasslands that if you just wanted a really easy cruise, this would be just circle the grasslands would be super easy.
This is what you would do. Yeah, exactly.
Now, this was the one, does this ever have blooms out in this grassland area?
There's a little bit of like poppy it would be on the left, but on the right, it's pretty rare. It's mostly grass.
Okay.
And this is the lookout, close to the lookout where the dam is.
Okay, so it's just like a spur of it. Oh yeah, I can see. Oh, there's the dam right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a rather ominous, threatening looking crow there. It looks like it would go peck your eyes out.
I was so worried about that crow because, they get to know you. And I was like, the last thing we need to do is irritate that crow and then have it follow us or something. But it flew away and it didn't bug us.
Maybe you could train it to bring you stuff or
not a crow.
Okay, so I have messed up my slides today, but we'll live with it. Okay,
so that's walking away from that lookout and heading towards Oak Canyon.
Yeah, look who's waiting for you though. Look on that pole.
Right? I'm telling you, I
Same
was
crow.
worried. So right here, if you were to go to the right, you could stay on a loop and stay in the grasslands, or you would head down this area. This area has been developed a lot by the Boy Scouts. So the stairs that we're going down, the bridge we're crossing, and the other bridges we're going to cross along the way, all of those are individually Eagle Scout projects.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. Well, right away you can see the creek bed, and for me, being a plant nerd, those are sycamores. Sycamores only grow where there's in riparian areas where there's regular either standing or seasonal water. So that's definitely a good indicator of that there's going to be some water in here at least part of the year.
Yeah, and in that area, there is water all year long now. It can get spotty right before, at the end of fall, where it's starting to get spotty again. But because of the dam, I think that there's enough groundwater for that sycamore to grow.
Okay. So we're roughly in this area.
We are down a little bit.
Okay, not quite that far. But
yeah, we have just come. Wait, let's see. Yeah, when we took that stairway, that was the turn to the left, and now we're just starting this upward.
Okay, so we're just down a little bit, but that general part of it,
general
right?
area.
Yeah. Okay. So okay, you got some stairs.
Yes.
And you're gonna go. Well, so do you? Oh, you're not going up the stairs.
The stairs lead to a backside where you can get over to the dam.
Okay. Okay. Now, as a personal opinion, do you like stairs or would you rather no stairs?
I don't mind going up them. I don't like going down them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not really a down girl. I'll climb all day long.
That's true.
I still don't like down.
It's funny. Sometimes I don't care for stairs much. I'd rather just have a steep trail or not. Sometimes I find that stairs kind of just mess with it. I didn't realize. Oh, I didn't even realize you're picking up some dog poop there. Wow. I thought I didn't realize they left that in. How nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how late is there standing water here in the summer or generally no?
No, there's no standing water there. Okay. And this was actually lower water than we expected because we had rain 2 days before, and I think even the night before, and we were expecting rain again. But I think that it was like the rain didn't fall where this needed to flow. The rain fell in another part of the county.
I'm actually reading Mike's chat message. He says, it looks like a sycamore to me, but it's supposed to be read with a Yogi Bear voice. It looks like a sycamore to me. That is such an old childhood reference. I can't believe it. And it still sings in my head.
Oh my Yay, Mike!
Oh my goodness. Wow. I am embarrassed.
So, this is right after we had a little bit of a junction. And so it looks like the trail is going to be really close, and it veers off and we're not near each other anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And this is starting the area that I think of like the quintessential oak canyon. You got lots of oak trees. You've got these little footbridges. You've got the area where the water has been flowing, and it's just, for me, it's just ticking off like, oh, I like that. I like that. I like that. And the oaks are huge.
Yeah. Nice. That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's very nice.
It's I can part of the trail.
And I can see, I think this is the only person I saw in your footage of somebody coming by. So
yeah, we had a few more in the upper part of the canyon, but not many. There was a family of like 3, I think, but it's not like cows. It's just not.
And what time of day was this?
We left to start at, I think we left the truck at 6:30.
Okay, so it was early. Okay. Which kind of explains it. It looks like a little bit of an overcast day and early. So between the two of those, that probably explains why it's not so sunny. I don't know what that was.
I don't know. Yeah. So these little areas, you can go left, you can go right. It doesn't really matter because you meet right back up.
Okay. So there's like little side trails.
Yeah. And it's just like 10 feet, you just kind of bump around.
Okay. Nice. All right.
And like for this whole section, the trail is pretty narrow where you can feel the bushes kind of on both sides. But like for the beginning part of the trail and at the high point from then on, it's wide open. So you don't have to really worry about bumping into too many people because you can actually stay 6 feet away from each other and be on the trail.
Nice. Well, I just had this thought of the camera looking like it was going to go underneath a couple of bushes and stopping and sticking the camera right into a bush. I'm like, did you put the camera on Dixie? Did you put it on your dog?
Oh,
no, that was Rich.
We couldn't because Dixie loves to swim. And I kept her on the leash the whole time.
GoPros are waterproof.
A couple of times she went and she was just like, excuse me, I need a minute. And she would just go and then lay down in the water.
I think we've got a little bit of that. So the trail definitely gets rocky here, right? So
yes. And this is a section that's probably only a quarter of a mile long, but it is picking. You have to be careful. The rock is really slippery. And so we exercised caution and we slowed down. And then Dixie knows the area and she's like, oh, swimming hole. And so then I was still slowing down more because she was yanking off of like, I need to go play. Well, and that was more trash I had to go get. And then she was like, excuse me, pardon me.
Well, kudos on carrying the trash bag. Thank you. Everybody thanks you for cleaning up after them. And we thank you for cleaning up after the clods. How's that? That's a better way of putting it.
Yeah.
Nice. So I love that. I love the standing water in here. I think that really, I can see how that really makes this and how that would really sell this for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just really beautiful. And when we have a really good year of a lot of rain, there's flowers. This whole area is covered in flowers. Like there's a little bit of ceanothus up on one hillside in this area, but that was really all we had this year. And I was surprised because I was hoping for some poppy and some pretty flowers, and there was just nothing. And we really didn't get a good waterfall either.
Oh, right. Okay. So this section also dries up later in the summer?
Yeah, it has a couple of pools and then, but they're kind of mucky. And so green, and I don't spend much time in the summer, especially over here.
Okay. Yeah. Cause there's a section that we come to where I think it's coming up in probably the next slide, that it looks pretty deep. And I thought that would be really cool if there was even somewhat running water in the middle of the summer. Like, well, yeah, I'm definitely going there to go swimming. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not deep enough to swim in. It's really like this. So, oh yeah, she just had to get in.
That's great. Oh, I love it.
And enjoy herself. And this is her bag. She wants to play. And since it's not always my hike, and because I have a dog that hikes.
Wait. There it goes. It's shake. Yes.
Yeah. So this is another one of the Boy Scout projects. So many people will continue walking and not do the bridge, but you get hemmed in. Okay. And so you either have to get your feet wet to get across or double back.
And has the water ever gotten high enough to wash out those bridges?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think it was 2017, a couple of the bridges washed out because there was just so much, but they came back and replaced them because they didn't fall apart. The footings came out. And so they just stuck them in footings again.
Okay. So we're continuing up Oak Canyon North. And I got some more.
This is a junction.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got some more.
So right behind
there.
us is a junction to where you can do South Fortuna.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Good. Now, you notice all this green growing up in the trees there?
Yeah.
We've got a good picture of it coming up.
Yeah.
That's all poison oak.
Yeah.
And I can tell that even from the bouncy footage that's the poison oak. Yeah, that's so you'll definitely find that what's going to happen is those sycamores are going to leaf out in the summer, and that'll give them some cover. Let's see if we got. This is one of those slides. There we go. That's definitely some poison oak right there.
Yes. So. Yeah, and we are always really careful. Anytime, like as soon as we hit that sign, that's where the poison oak is on the trail. But it's not very long. You're only going to have it, I'm going to say 300 or 400 feet.
Interesting. That's the only place it really is. Yeah. Okay. So for me, as I was looking at this footage, I kept trying to figure out where exactly I was since I didn't go on this hike with you. And that bridge right in the background that's going to come back invisible in just a moment here. This was a major landmark for me. So that's Highway 52, right?
Yes.
So that's the big bridge that you're going over when you go across 52. And so we're heading north. So we're on the south side of 52 and Mission Trails.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. And I kept thinking that this ended, but we're going to go up a little further and hang a right turn, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And so you can see here that there's water. And so this is where the upper section where when water is flowing, that's where we're going to have like our waterfall.
Okay.
And it is still, it's mud, it's small, but like it's the city of San Diego. Come on. You know, like we're still in the city proper and we're having this. So like beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah. A waterfall anywhere in the city of San Diego is a waterfall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, have you ever heard of or seen Adobe Falls, which is by SDSU? And there's a mini waterfall there, but it's all graffiti. Oh, good. Dave put out an idea that'd be a good idea to talk about plant recognition, common San Diego plants. That actually would be a good idea. Yeah. What's great is, see, when I'm out with my friends, I can fake it and BS a little bit. But if it goes online, people will call me out and say, that's not right.
Now, see, right here, this is where the waterfall would be. And this is where the pooling is.
Yeah.
And so there's the pool. But you can easily see how it's just in the cleft of the rock. So there is no way to go swimming except for Dixie. Dixie went swimming, and there's the falls.
Right. You can see where it's a little gray, where the water would get wide and really spill there.
Yeah.
Probably the way I'd imagine it would be right after it really poured, immediately go out there and you'd see a pretty impressive waterfall.
And the rain needs to be like north of Poway. And it needs to come down through the base that way, through those mountains, and to hit us here.
Yeah.
So we have to get it just right, and so it would be it would be north of the freeway that the rain would need to come in order to settle down in this way.
Sure. So this is that section we're about to make we're going to get ready to make that right turn pretty soon. Now, if you the question I asked you before the show was, if you keep going north, you cross under the freeway. If a person did, you're still within the park. And then do you know how much further it is before it turns into the military base?
It's actually, I've been out there about close to half a mile, and I was still on some of these roads that are the power generating roads.
Okay.
And so I wasn't stopped, and there is no fence.
Right.
But if you go further towards I guess the right, there is a fence out there, and there's a sign that says, do not go beyond this point that the mountain bikers go beyond. And I baited one of my girlfriends to just stand on the other side of the sign and take a picture one day because we were trail running.
Oh.
But you have to go, like it's at least a mile beyond before you're in the no naughty area. Well, this is the vertical.
Yeah, that is. It's steep and it looks kind of marbly and scrabbly. Yeah.
Yeah. And in this, so we're there, like we did this a couple weeks ago, and it had rained, and so the ground has like a mushiness to it, and so it was actually the most comfortable we've been hiking there, because in the summer it's really dry, and the rocks are sliding around, and it feels exceedingly unstable in the summer.
So as you come back around that, looks like we're back at the grasslands, and we're looping back. So you can almost see where you went across off to the screen on the right.
Yes.
So we're back at that junction where we started. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much we're closing the loop, right?
Yes, that's it. Exactly.
Okay. So a question for you while this kind of is playing out is, this is a 4.5 mile loop. Did you drive there, or did you add extra miles and walk from your house?
I was with my husband, and he doesn't think it's funny, and so we drove there.
He doesn't think it's funny. That's great. So you're close enough, though, that would be good. That would add some decent mileage.
Yeah. When I'm doing training, and definitely when I was training for my half marathon, Dixie and I would run over there, and we would hike part of the trail, and then we would run home, or we would run from here and we would do the road to the visitor center and back to try to get some mileage in and not be in, just a boring neighborhood. That way it felt like we were in greenery and all that.
Sure. So a question for you, though, as you were coming back out, we went over the two little bridges over the river. There are times when you can't get across that. Am I correct?
It's pretty rare.
Okay.
It's wide enough that you can get across.
Because there was a fatality there this year, right? Wasn't somebody not there, but someplace else?
Yes, it was there at Mission Trails. And so Rich heard that it was closer towards Oak Canyon, where we were at. And I heard that it was closer to the dam, where the lookout where we were at. Okay. But either way, it was on the north part of the park, and it was in that general vicinity where we were at. And from what we understand, he was trail running, and more than likely he slipped and fell and drowned.
So I would just say probably a good caution to everybody out there is you can always go back the other way. You forget that you can, but you can go back the other way and to run or hike another day. And to be aware, and just because it's a park that has guide rails and bridges and stuff, there's those same dangers that are out there that you need to be aware of. So
yes, and if there's a snake, you're free to turn around and go the other way. The snake was there first.
You don't have to deal with the snake.
No, just leave them be.
You can just play a little snaky and go the other way.
I don't want anybody to feel like they need to rush the snake off. The snake was there first, and that's their house. So leave them alone. Yeah.
And of course, dogs are fine on leash on trails there.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. The dog can be anywhere out there and on Mission Trails, but leash is required. It's not, you're not allowed to do just positive control.
Okay. Beautiful. Well, look at that. It's half an hour. Went by really quick, as always. Yeah. So thanks to you and Rich for filming, and thanks for sharing your neighborhood trail with you. We appreciate it, and it's great to have the information and for you to join us.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Well, thanks everybody for watching. we'll be back next week with another topic, and I've got a list of something. So I'm talking about something and something and
something.
And something. Yeah. So until then, I hope everybody gets some dirt under their feet. Thanks again. We'll see you all next time.